Tonight on Connecticut's news station, heavy hearts as our state mourns the death of Hartford police officer Bobby Garten.
This is a devastating loss for our community, for our department, and our whole city is grieving.
Tonight, colleagues in New and Best reflecting on his dedication and character.
It's a huge loss. You don't get a lot of cops like him.
Tributes are pouring in for Officer Garten and his partner, who was seriously injured.
Plus, a closer look at the charges the 18-year-old suspect accused in Officer Garten's death now faces. And thanks for joining us here for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. A Hartford police officer is dead and another officer is still hospitalized.
Yeah, the deadly chain of events started on Broad Street, just a few blocks from the state capitol. In this security camera video, you can see 18-year-old Richard Barrington pulled over for a traffic stop by police, and you can see what appears to be him speeding away, heading up Broad Street and going underneath I-84.
Just a few blocks from this scene, authorities say Richard Barrington crashed into a police cruiser after evading the police. You saw there running 2 red lights on the way.
Now tonight we're taking a deeper look into the moments before Officer Garten's life was taken and the messages of support from the community.
As the city and state come to grips with the death of Officer Bobby Garten, we're learning more about the man behind the badge and his signature smile. Fox
61's Matt Karen joins us live now with a story from the Hartford Police Department headquarters. Matt?
Well, the Hartford Police Department hasn't had an on-duty officer death since 1996. Today was different. At the same time, it was also the same, because at the same time that these officers were grieving, they also put on their uniform, went to work, as they do every day, to protect their city. But today, they did it for Bobby.
This is what he talked about, this job. So, he was a great man.
A singular rose adorns a badge of flowers, black bunting signaling a department cloaked in grief. Flags at half-staff signaling a city in solidarity.
Our whole city is grieving this morning.
Grieving a life lost, Officer Robert "Bobby" Garten, a reminder of the sacrifice.
Bobby's mom said yesterday that every day he started on shift, she talked to him and said, "Be safe out there," and every day he said, "I always am."
Bobby was just 34, an 8-year veteran of the Hartford Police Department. Blue was in his blood. His father, a retired Hartford police detective.
He grew up going to Whalers games. He loved going to Yard Goats games now. He served this city with courage and compassion and tremendous skill and dedication.
Officer Garten was a walk beat officer, served in the Patrol and Marine Division before tackling the tall task of the Street Crimes Unit.
I think if you ask anybody in the police department about him, they'll say he was the guy that was always smiling.
A smile that left a lasting impression.
It's a huge loss. You don't get a lot of cops like him.
Few know the danger of the job, like retired Hartford police officer Jill Kiddick herself, stabbed in the neck 4 years ago.
I should have been dead. I should be dead. I don't know what that feels like. I just don't have that connection with it, luckily. But I hope that from being on the other side of it, as being a police officer and a victim, that maybe I can just help a couple of the guys and girls here.
Kiddick trained Officer Garten.
It clicked for him, this job, and he just did. I don't know how to explain how awesome he was.
One by one, they saluted. They embraced. A day where the thin blue line got a little thicker.
It's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, it's a family. It's going to be a long weekend, but we just show up. You just go. That's our job, is to go.
Officer Garten grew up in Wethersfield. He lived in Newington, and as you can imagine, the Hartford Police Department has been getting a show of support, condolences coming in from all across the state and really all across the country. Now, as for that other officer who was injured, who was in the car with Officer Garten, Officer Brian Kearney, well, Mayor Bronin told me today that he talked to him in the hospital, and his only concern was for the safety and well-being of his fellow officers. We're live here outside Hartford Police Headquarters. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we are hoping for his recovery. Matt, thank you. Well, earlier today, a procession was held to escort the fallen officer to a funeral home in Wethersfield.
Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joins us live from St. Francis Hospital, where the other officer is listed as in guarded condition, which means extremely serious. DeAndrea.
Well, Sarah, while this officer is still here fighting for his life, so many people are hoping that he pulls through. But they're also coming to the realization that one of their own is no longer with them. Now, that procession, it started around 2:30 this afternoon, headed up I-84 east towards Wethersfield. Many oncoming ramps temporarily shut down, while dozens of officers trailed behind to pay their respects to the fallen officer. The 8-year Hartford police veteran was taken to DeSoto Funeral Chapel in Wethersfield.
Bobby's mom said yesterday that every day he started on shift, she talked to him and said, "Be safe out there." And every day he said, "I always am."
Now, we are still waiting to learn if there are any more updates about this officer here who is fighting for his life at St. Francis Hospital. But people are going to continue to show their respect tonight towards the falling officer. One at the Hartford Yard Ghost game, they plan to have a moment of silence there. In Hartford, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, thank you, DeAndrea. We continue our live team coverage with Fox 61's Carmen Chow.
She was at the crash scene on Asylum Avenue and has the latest.
This is a devastating loss for our community.
Shortly after 10 p.m. Wednesday, police say 18-year-old Richard Barrington took a left turn on a red light on Broad Street. Officers in the area noticed this, checked his license plate, and learned Barrington's registration was canceled. That is when they pulled him over.
The officers exited their vehicle and approached the Accord on foot. As the officers neared the Accord, it accelerated and fled the stop at a high rate of speed.
It just so happens Officer Bobby Garten and Officer Kearney were responding to their own emergency call at the same time.
These officers were traveling east on Asylum Street, and they were utilizing their emergency lights and siren, responding to a separate incident. At the time of the incident, the North Street Crimes units were not aware that a vehicle had just fled a traffic stop.
Barrington then ran another red light, crashing into the two officers' police cruiser. The incident all captured on video.
And that's a reminder that every one of our officers, no matter how safe they are, put themselves in the line of danger every day.
Officer Garten was rushed to St. Francis Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. As for Officer Kearney, he remains in stable but guarded condition. Barrington was arrested and appeared in front of a judge Thursday. He is being charged with failure to obey a traffic control signal and several other charges.
Reports that he's a full-time student in the 11th grade. He has no criminal history on file, no pending cases, no convictions. However, as the state stated, this resulted in a serious incident.
Barrington's attorney pointing out he currently works at Lowe's with strong family ties to the state.
Mr. Barrington is a lifelong Connecticut resident, 18 years old, currently in the 11th grade. In addition, he's also engaged at the Hartford Job Corp and is getting a certification in medical assistant.
That was Fox 61's Carmen Chow reporting. Stay with Fox 61 as we continue our live team coverage of this fallen officer's death. You can stream the latest updates anytime on Fox 61 Plus. It's free to watch on Apple, Roku, and Fire TV. A new law signed by the mayor of New Haven this morning aims to crack down on a major quality of life issue throughout the city: loudspeakers in cars. The new ordinance increases fines for the external speakers on vehicles from just over $100 to $1,000 on the first offense. On the second offense, violators will face a $1,500 fine, and on the third, they'll have to pay $2,000.
New Haven needs to be a place that's safe for everyone, but also people deserve to live in peace. And the reality is that there's a small group of people that don't respect New Haven, oftentimes come to our city and disrupt our city.
Now, police say on top of hitting violators with those fines, they will confiscate the speakers when they can. Police will be assessing, or I should say assigning, their drag racing detail to take on this new task on the weekends starting this weekend.
All right, it was another hot one out there today and very humid as well.
Yeah, and the question is, when will we see some relief? Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rach?
I think the worst is behind us after today, but we're definitely still sweating for at least another day with temperatures close to 90 degrees tomorrow. But we're going to take a little bit of the edge off. We can call it an official heat wave. This was day 3 in the 90s, and today we even ended up breaking the daily record high temperature, both inland and at the Connecticut shoreline, which is surprising absolutely no one. A heat advisory continues into the day tomorrow. Like I said, it's still very humid. It's still very warm. While it's not as hot as today, we're still sweating out there. So heading through the afternoon tomorrow, there could be a heat index, how hot it really feels, in the mid and even upper 90s, despite the fact that temperatures won't be as hot as today. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. So those numbers are starting to fall out there. And we're watching numerous showers and thunderstorms from Albany all the way down through much of eastern Pennsylvania. And we'll be watching especially the southern end of this line, because as these thunderstorms slowly move to the north and east, we could end up getting clipped, especially in northwestern Connecticut later this evening. But most of the thunderstorms rather end up missing us here in Connecticut. So there's not a big concern for that tonight. There is a better chance for seeing a scattered shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. By the news at 11, temperatures are in the upper 70s. It's another warm and humid night and a cloudier start to the day tomorrow, which is one of the reasons why we don't think it's quite as hot as today. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Early clouds break for some sunshine. It's very warm and humid, and we'll see that chance for a scattered shower or thunderstorm as we head through the afternoon, especially later in the day and at night. We have a lot of instability to tap into with the warmth and humidity, but not a lot of wind shear. So any storms that do end up developing could bring some locally heavy rain, and there is a risk for damaging winds in spots as well. We're going to take a closer look at this. Plus, we have a new update in from Hurricane Lee, which is now a major Category 4 hurricane. What we know, and most importantly, what we're still trying to figure out, coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Now, if you or if anyone you know needs relief from the heat, cooling centers are open. Just dial 211 on your phone to find the closest one. You can also visit 211ct.org.